Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of The Art of Business English, where we help people like you get the language skills you need for doing business in English. Today's episode 168, and we're looking at 10 expressions for giving opinions. So gaining confidence in English is all about using your English, and giving opinions is probably one of the best ways to engage people in conversation. Furthermore, this skill set is essential if you are participating in meetings at work. So if you struggle in meetings, or you're not sure what to say, or you get frustrated by not being able to express your opinions clearly, then today's episode is just for you. So as usual, I'll introduce the expressions and then give you some context around how to use it, and then finish up with an example sentence just to help you put it all into context and understand how it works. So let's dive in. Now, the first one is not convinced. Not convinced means to be uncertain about something. So for example, Susan was not entirely convinced about the viability of the investment proposal. Now, we use entirely here to show that, she was a little bit maybe convinced, but she was not completely convinced. So she wasn't completely certain. She had what we would call some reservations about this proposal. Okay, the next one on my list of 10 is to be in favor of. Now we use to be in favor of, which basically means to be in support of something. You support the idea, you agree with it. So let me just give you a quick example. I'm in favor of this proposal. Let's vote and see if the other board members agree. All those in favor? So in a board meeting, when we vote, we use the expression all those in favor. And when you hear that, instinctively, you either raise your hand or keep your hand down. Obviously, if you are in favor and you hear someone say all those in favor in a board meeting, you would raise your hand if you agreed. Okay, so that's how we would use the expression in favor of or all those in favor. The next one, and this is when you disagree as well. So this is totally disagree. Now, we're going to use totally here to express that we are in complete disagreement. There is not even a little bit that we agree with. So the meaning here is to not support or to disapprove of something. So let me give you an example. I'm sorry, but I totally disagree with the findings in this report. The accusations are baseless. Now, if accusations are baseless, it means that there is no foundation, there is no real evidence to support these accusations. All right, let's move on to my next one. Seems to. And often we say seems to me because we use it when we want to give our opinion. So it seems to me. Now this means to give the impression or to appear to be like. So let me give an example. It seems to me that if we don't take urgent steps, we could lose control of the situation. Okay, so taking urgent steps means that you need to do something urgently to fix or regain control of a situation. Now you'll see that a lot of these examples are quite generic, so that you can apply them to different situations or circumstances that come up in work. All right, next one on my list is to have or to have got a point. Now the difference between have and have got is that have alone is American English and have got for possessive is British English. So we use have got a lot in the UK or Australia, whereas less maybe in America. So the meaning of to have got a point is to have made a good suggestion or idea. So if someone has made a good suggestion or they've presented a good idea, you could say, you've got a good point. So let me give you an example. John, I think you've got a very good point there. If we can renegotiate the delivery times, then we can make up for the lost time due to inventory shortages. So inventory shortages are when you are lacking stock or material maybe to produce and develop things, which is a common problem nowadays. All right, let's look at the next one. To some extent. So to some extent means somewhat, partly, or in a limited way. So somewhat is, okay, let me give you an example. I agree with what you are saying to some extent. But do you really think we need to find a new marketing agency? So the person in this context agrees that maybe there's a problem with the existing marketing agency. Someone has raised some good points, they're not happy about it, and they're suggesting that the company changes marketing agency. So maybe the person agrees that they need to talk to the existing marketing agency and try and solve some of the problems, but they only agree to some extent, which means partially. Maybe they think that finding a new marketing agency is a little bit extreme. Okay, so, but do you really think we need to find a new marketing agency? All right, okay, let's look at the next one on my list, which is not so sure. Now, the meaning is to be uncertain about something. So, I'll give you an example. I'm not so sure that is a good idea. Do you remember the last time we tried something like that and it was a complete disaster? Okay, so you can see there, very generic. So you can apply that sentence or that expression to many situations. All right, the next one is suppose so. Suppose so. Now, suppose so means it's used to respond in agreement when you are not certain or excited about the idea. So basically, you're saying yes to something, but yeah, you're not really in 100% agreement, and maybe you're not really excited about the idea. For example, my boss could say, "Hey, Andrew, do you want to lead the meeting today?" And I can say, "I suppose so," meaning, okay, I'll do it, but I'm not that excited about it. Okay? Okay, let's look at another one. And this one is fairly common in my home country of Australia, and it's fair enough. And you'll hear the intonation there, fair enough. That's when something is, fair, agreeable, understandable. You think it's okay. Okay, so an example would be, imagine a seller, a person is selling something to someone. They say, "Hey, I think $200 is a reasonable price." And then the buyer says, "Fair enough. When can I sign the contract?" Okay, so fair enough is often used when you think that something is okay. Yeah, that's acceptable. Okay, so we often use it when we could also be when someone is maybe angry and they're expressing their opinion sharply at you, and you say, "Okay, fair enough. You're right. I'll let that go." So we can use it, in these ways. I like that expression. I use it a lot myself. Okay, so the next one on my list is to see what you mean, and it's got a linking y with the u, so it's see what you mean. I see what you mean, and the meaning is to understand what someone is saying to you, basically. Like, I see what you mean. I understand what you're saying. Let me give you an example, people. So the seller says, "There will be a delay in delivery due to a major shortage in supplies." And the buyer says, "I see what you mean. So, do you have a new delivery estimate?" So there you go. You understand that what someone's telling you, and that's the difficult situation. So then you say, "I see what you mean." Okay, so there are my 10 commonly used expressions for expressing opinions. These are very natural. We use them a lot. Native speakers use them a lot to express opinions in English. So you should really adopt those and start trying to use them. Just listen to the intonation in my voice and the way that I deliver them. I've tried to make them as generic as possible so that you can really apply them to various wide range of situations in business or in meetings or at work. And if you have got any expressions that you use commonly, why don't you drop them into the comment section over at the blog? Or if you are really having trouble with something to do with English or your business English, and you'd like me to prepare a lesson or an episode for you, then by all means, just drop me a message or a voicemail over at speakpipe.com/the art of business English. I'd be more than happy to help you with your business English. And I'd just like to say a big shout out to all of my friends and listeners in Germany. I've been checking out the stats and where everyone's listening in from, and I've got a lot of my listeners coming in from Germany. Love you guys. Hope you're doing well out there. And also big shout out to Silke, who is my new student who's just come in from Germany. It's always a pleasure having people come on board. So remember, if you're interested in getting some private coaching with the AOBE team like Silke, then just get in touch and we're more than happy to prepare some private coaching that's basically focused on your needs and what you need to get out of your business English. So that's it from me. I hope you all enjoyed the lesson and I'll see you all next week on the Art of Business English. Take care. Bye for now.